Oh boy, this is not good. I'm going to read this article from CNBC. Because of the shutdown, members of the U.S. military are working without pay for the first time in history. The current partial shutdown of the U.S. government has now lasted 27 days. There have been 20 government shutdowns since 1976. This one is the longest in history. Much of the shutdown can be attributed to a standoff over President Trump's demand for $5.7 billion in appropriations to fund a wall along the U.S.-Mexican border. The shutdown is about a quarter of the government, including 9 federal departments and several other agencies. According to the New York Times, roughly about 800,000 government workers are currently going without pay, and more than 50% of these workers are still expected to come to work. Among those workers are members of the U.S. military. Navy Times estimate that as many as 43,000 Coast Guard employees are working through the shutdown without pay. On Tuesday, they did not receive their scheduled paychecks. Admiral Carl L. Schultz, commandant of the U.S. Coast Guard, issued a statement. Today you will not be receiving your regularly scheduled mid-month paycheck, wrote Admiral Schultz. To the best of my knowledge, this marks the first time in our nation's history that service members in a U.S. armed force have not been paid during the lapse of the government appropriation. Like every other member of the armed services, the U.S. Coast Guard men and women took an oath to support and defend the Constitution. Yikes. They continue to uphold their promise to the American people. Through adversity, America can sleep well tonight. Lord have mercy. The USG has the watch and all this stuff, and it was by Admiral Carl Schultz, January 16th, 2019, just a few days ago. He continued, I recognize the anxiety and uncertainty this situation places on you and your family, and we're working closely with service organizations on your behalf. To this end, I am encouraged to share that Coast Guard Mutual Assistance has received a $15 million donation from the USAA to support our people in need. A partnership with the CGMA, the American Red Cross, will assist in the distribution of these funds to our military and civilian workforce requiring assistance. Schultz continued, it is also not lost on me that our dedicated civilians are already adjusting to a missed paycheck. We are confronting this challenge together. The statement ends with the encouragement to the Coast Guard members to stay the course and stand and watch and serve with pride. The Coast Guard is the only branch of military that does not receive funding during the government shutdown, because it falls under the jurisdiction of the Department of Homeland Security and not to the Department of Defense. We don't know how long the government shutdown will last, but the Coast Guard the Coast Guard is statutorily obligated to maintain the essential safety, security, and environmental protection services the public expects during the government shutdown. Coast Guard Lieutenant Commander Scott McBride told CBS in that statement, absent an approved budget, the longer the shutdown lasts, the more difficult it will become for the Coast Guard to maintain the mission of readiness. Okay, here's my opinion on this. This is not good. Because the thing is, it's funny. This 45 cat is talking about having law and order, but yet you're breaking down law and order when you're not like paying these people to do their job. I'll be honest. I don't say too much about the president. I haven't said much about him since 2016, but I'm going to say this. He's throwing a temper tantrum. It's almost like he's building his own monument, his own obelisk. If you guys know what that is, obviously. But, it's almost like some kind of, how could I say it without sounding vulgar? He's trying to show basically his manhood, which is not manhood at all, because you're basically taking from the people to get what you want. So for all you Trump supporters, what's the deal with this? How are you, especially if you are in these services, how are you faring out right now? It doesn't sound well, does it? You see, people like this, it's funny, you got all these supporters that are for this person, and seriously, what's happening now, they'll live in denial. They'll wear their little red hat, their maggot hat, and just go about with their whole cultish way of looking at things and ignore all this stuff happening and chanting that you're making America great again. Really? It was never great to begin with. And I'll say this. All of you guys that thought it was going to be some kind of Trump card, quote unquote, on you because of your race, you're about to get the backlash of the time. And you know what? I have no feelings for you. You did this to yourself. I feel sorry for the people that didn't vote for him that are suffering from this. But those that did, you asked for this. I hope that everything can get back together. You can only hope and pray for people. But yeah, he's gonna get his way. That's his whole point. It's like you're taking from the people to make this damn wall. When people don't even use the wall. I'm sure that the people that he's trying to get out don't have to use the wall to get where they are. Maybe some, but certain elements of society that people might look down on don't necessarily need a wall. And you might as well build a wall around the country too, because people come in from other ways. So check it out. He's making basically the country suffer for what he wants. That president does not serve the people. No president or no leader that takes from the people does not serve the people. Anyways, I'm going to stop talking about this because I'm sure you're tired of hearing of it. So, like, comment, and subscribe, and tell me what you think. P.S. I'm going to add this. This is not good also because of just the fact that the protection of this country, which this person probably might have pride in, it may break down because of this. And having holes in that protection is not good. I'm sure, the whole TSA thing can tell you that too. So, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen, y'all. But anyways, I'll get at you soon.